Da, 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 da. Oh, what up, dudes? What up, chum bags? Oof. Oh yeah. Hold on a second. Let me get my shit together. First of all, I wanna thank all you guys, um, all my followers on Instagram. I appreciate it. Appreciate everything you guys have done, all the following, all the positive criticism, productive criticism. Even if it was negative, if it was constructive and productive, I appreciate it. Appreciate all the likes, all the follows, all the love. Um, you guys are fucking awesome. So this year, like I've been saying, I'm gonna be putting up a lot of videos on YouTube. A lot of fishing videos. I even think I'm gonna do some reaction videos. Watching some other clowns making videos and do reactions to them. I'm gonna do reviews on different fishing lures. That's what I'm doing today. And I think I'm gonna do interviews. So I'm just gonna bounce around and do as much as I possibly can to get as much content as I can this year on YouTube. So, with that being said, bear with me. I'm new to all this shit. I'm new to YouTube. I'm gonna get better as I go with the editing, with the cameras and the quality and everything like that. So if you guys have any comments, any suggestions that could help me out, anything constructive, then I appreciate it. Please comment or let me know. If it's something stupid, just keep it to your fucking self. You hear? So anyways, so once a week I'm gonna do a review on a specific lure. Most of these lures I'm gonna do a review on are for largemouth bass, since that's all I'm really gonna focus on this year. My goal is to get a double digit. I made that goal at the end of last year, thinking I'd be able to achieve it. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. So I'm making the goal for the whole year this year to catch me a double digit largemouth. I by no means am an expert at any type of fishing. I learn every single day. I'm open to learning new things, and I would like to teach other people and share things I learn as I go, and maybe broaden their willingness or want to fish with other things. My main goal is just to get people in South Florida and around the country just to start throwing different baits, different lures, and challenging themselves. Leave the live bait alone. Leave the worms and the bobbers alone. Try something out different, something new, and push yourself and maybe get some really good results. Because one of the main things with fish for largemouth and with lures is confidence. It's the main thing. So, with that all being said, first lure that we are going to talk about, the one this week, is probably one that everybody's familiar with. I know I am. I grew up fishing these. And lately I've been put back on them because some of the guys that I follow from Jacksonville, Mark Clayton, Stephen M is fishing, and Robbie AM, I believe those are the fellas' names. They're all really good largemouth fishermen. They live up in the Jacksonville area, and I noticed that they were catching a lot of largemouth on rattle trap. Yeah, that's right, a rattle trap. So I was interested because I mean they seemed like they knew what they were doing. And I fished with rattle traps in the past. I didn't really. I mean, you could catch fish with them, but I feel like everybody throws them, and the hooks were really shitty on them. They bent really easy. So I never really fished with them too much. I hit up Mark Clayton and I asked him, and he broke it down to me. First of all, he explained to me that he's not throwing a regular rattle trap. He throws a knocker trap, and that's what these are here. I got a gold one. This is a silver and chartreuse. And here's a kind of like a bluegill sun perch color. The way you can tell it's a knocker trap is, as you can see, there should be a K on the corner of it, and it even says it on the package too. You can't really find them at too many stores. I order them. These are all a ½ ounce. I think they're 3 inches long. And the difference between a knocker trap and a rattle trap is, as you remember, the rattle trap has like 5 or 6 little bearings or BBs in it that rattle around, whereas this one just has one big one. And from what it was explained to me by Mark was that but it's not just a cast and reel in type of thing. You got to do a lot of finessing. But that the knocker trap had just got started making it about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's got a different pitch, a louder pitch, and the fish haven't heard it, and they react to it very well. So I went and bought me a couple, and I do what I suggest and you guys do whenever you get a new lure that you never used or never really you know, pushed, is that you take a couple of them. I bought 3 and went fishing with nothing else. I didn't bring nothing else, no other lures, so I can't tie nothing else on, and just fished them. And I've been doing that for a couple weeks now, and this is what I've learned. First of all, like I said, this has a different noise, the knocker on it. Second thing is, the complaint I had about them before was the hooks. Now they have different hooks on them. These are Mustad treble hooks. Are way stronger, and I kind of like the shape of them. Once you hook a fish, they don't come off. It don't matter if it's fucking 10 pounds or 2 pounds. It ain't coming off. So that right there already gave me the confidence, because I thought I was gonna have to switch out the hooks. Second, they cast like a bomb. Like, you on the bait caster, you can throw them a mile. And so that was a plus. So after the first day I fished, you know, Mark had told me there's a lot of finessing, a lot of things going besides just reeling it in. And so I fished the first day on a lake with a bunch of rocks, and as you can see on this one, it is extremely beat up. You wouldn't think, but these lures are pretty weedless. When you reel them in, they kind of come in at this kind of angle, and they bang up and deflect off stuff. You know, I wouldn't reel it through like a brush pile. I don't think that would be a good idea, but you could bang it on rocks or on stumps, and you probably won't get hooked up. So I was kind of impressed on that. I thought I would have lost one by now, but I haven't. Secondly, I started getting bites pretty much as soon as I started. I think the first day I fished with it, I caught about 16 bass. But I started learning different techniques, and I think the main thing that I've learned so far is with these lures, you want to focus on different depths. The upper level, the middle level, and the lower level. Now, if I'm focusing on the upper level, which is surface, I'm going to use like a swim bait or top water, so I'm not even going to be throwing this. I'm going to be throwing something else. Now, as far as the middle and the lower, the fish can be suspended or they can be all the way on the bottom. The only way to find out is you have to fish different columns. This thing's pretty heavy, it drops pretty quickly, so you know, you cast it out and you count down and see how quickly it drops. 1, 2, 3. This thing drops probably about a foot and a half a second. So and like I said, it doesn't really hang up too bad. So I've had it drop all the way to the bottom, and it doesn't really hang up too much. So once you get it to the depth you want, it's a slow retrieve, very slow, because you know, if you reel in too fast, you're gonna get it out of the zone you want it at. So you want to be able to feel it kind of doing this, but you gotta understand that it's making a lot of noise down there. And what I do is, while I'm reeling it in slow, every once in a while I'll just change speed and direction with my rod tip. Not with the speed of the reel, but just rod tip. I'll move it up, I'll move it down, and it just speeds it up real quick. And what happens is these guys, they flutter, and the light hits it different ways. And a lot of times largemouths, when you're steady reeling in a lure, they kind of follow it. And when it does that flutter, that triggers a bite. And a lot of times I was catching fish right after a flutter. Like I'd be reeling in, and then and then as soon as it did that speed up and started to drop, wow, it would get hit. Even today while I was throwing it. Now I have a technique that every time I cast it, I count down how far I want it to drop, and as soon as it gets down to the level I want it to drop, I give it a quick jerk. Because a lot of times it'll hit the water, and the fish will see it. They'll turn to look at it, and it'll just be dropping. And then you give it that, and it'll trigger a bite like that. That happened 3 times today. So I haven't stuck anything real giant with it. I think the biggest one I've caught on it was about 3 pounds. But like I said, I've only been fishing these for about 2 weeks now. I have a lot to learn, but I'm confident in them now. I had confidence in them after seeing those guys up north fishing with them. But also, like I said, you get a lure. This is a lure I'm familiar with, but I haven't really fished it as a grown man, really trying to catch largemouth. So I just brought these with me and didn't bring nothing else. I keep 50-pound braid on my bait caster. Because a lot of fishing I do walking, so I only have one setup. So I definitely put at least 2 feet of leader on there, depending on the color of the water or the time of day or night. Either between 20 or 30. It's always important to have leader. You guys, like, especially down here in Florida, all this water is so clean. I don't think people really understand how many more fish you would catch, especially on artificial, if you have leader, or if you if you downsize on leader. Instead of fishing 30, fish 20. Instead of fishing 20, fish 12 or 10. It's pretty crazy. So with that being said, yeah, get you a couple of these. They're only like $5-6, and I guarantee you'll catch largemouth bass. And I also guarantee you that if you're fishing in South Florida, you'll catch peacocks too, without having to walk around and look for them or having to go buy a bunch of bait. If you get a gold one or the silver one, the blue back, you're gonna get fish. Commit at least an hour or 2 to fishing, and just run up and down the canal, keep casting in front of you. I think a lot of people down here, especially, you guys are just all about looking for the fish, and if you don't see them, then you go somewhere else. Just take a walk and just cast in front of you where the fish haven't seen you yet. And I promise you guys will catch something. Bill Lewis, rattle trap, knocker trap. I think they have a mega trap or something like that, a saltwater series. I suggest you guys get some, try them out if you haven't already, especially the knocker trap. It's just got a different sound, and from what I can tell, that they like it. Everglades works a charm, works crazy. So I appreciate you guys, appreciate the love. I hope this helped you guys out a little bit. Next week, I think we're going to be talking about worms and what kind of worms I use, what kind of weights, what kind of hooks, and situations that I fish worms. Like I said, for these, I like to fish them in the evening times, or if the water's a little darker. the thing is, for me in South Florida, the water down here is super, super clean. So the more realistic bait you use, the better for largemouth. I mean, unless you're getting on reaction strikes, but that's not going on this time of year. For the winter, it's they're not out feeding like crazy. But if you throw the right lure in front of the right fish, you'll get a big one. But for stained water Everglades, y'all, I was tearing them up the other day with this. Anywhere peacocks will slam this shit, especially really erratic. I'm talking. I caught a couple peacocks a day, and I was just ripping it, kicking it, banging it, just all over the place, and they were smacking the shit out of it. Really aggressive hits. When they hit this, they make the decision to eat this way before they get to it. You understand? Like some baits you fish with, some lures, and they kind of like here. I got a perfect example. Look at this. A swim bait. When I fish this, it goes slow like that. The fish will kind of come up and just. You fishing with this, and you're doing all this shit, and all that noise, bro. Like, I don't think you guys also understand that underwater, like, noise is amplified. Like, I don't know how many times, but it's a shitload of times. So they hear this shit from a mile away, and they see that flash, and they crush it. It's crazy. They'll rip the fishing rod out your hand. So like I said, thanks again. Good luck. Tight lines. See you guys next week. Sheesh.